Hello, this is Kieran from cryptobulls, and I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. And after a big upswing, we're going to have a bit of a correction. So the last 24 hours, we've seen a bit of red. Ethereum going down a bit, 4.2%. Bitcoin not as bad. Now it's at $5,645 after it touched a new all-time high of 2019 of around $5,800. If we look at the market, it's all more or less the same. We've had a bit of a few price decreases, and the overall market cap has after this new peak of $187 billion, we went and took a bit of a dive to $180 billion now. No reason to worry. There's always some retracement after a very big increase in price. As you can see, we've moved constantly with higher highs and higher lows, from the low of 168 billion up to 187 billion, which is actually fantastic. And now we're just going to have a bit of a retracement, which is always healthy in any kind of market. So here I found a nice chart of Trading Shaw, and he's looking at a long-term analysis of BTCUSD on Bitstamp. So at the moment we're here on the 29th of, actually we're around here at about $5,700. So in his opinion, we're going to have he's comparing it to the 2015 bear market and accumulation phase. So on his opinion, we should have another drop. So if you can see, he's comparing it to the 2015 bear market. And if we look at that, he sees another drop coming in, so we should be reaching around the $3,000 levels, if that's what he thinks. And afterwards we should be retesting new highs around $9,650 at the end of this year. Now this is pretty optimistic in my opinion. I'm not sure if we're gonna see $9,000 or even $10,000 at the end of the year. I think it's going to take a bit longer than that, but I think it's a very interesting analysis, and always good to see the opinion of other traders. Here he looked at other similar charts where he's comparing to the previous bull markets, like in 2012, and looking at the where there were, like, for example, double bottoms and support lines, using also the Ichimoku cloud, which I like a lot, and it's nice to see some traders also using it. With Ripple XRP, so XRP USD, we're having this this downwards sloping trend, and the same with upward sloping trend with the lows. So very often this is like you could say like it's a downwards pennant. And now, in my opinion, what might happen is if investors want to get in here, we're going to see a bit of a dip below this support line to trigger stop losses or trigger panic mode for some investors. And the reason for that is if it dips below, like, big investors will be coming in and setting their buy orders here when they dump onto some stop losses and so on. And afterwards, I do see big potential, a move up. This might be a bit overly optimistic at $500 a piece, but it's always good to keep our mind open to these opportunities, but yeah, we always should stay realistic. Now, I wouldn't be surprised seeing the similar prices to end of January, but let's see. However, just keep in mind and don't panic if the price goes down the support line. It might even go to the next support line, the 725 plus day support line at yeah, around 35 cents. Oh wait, that's lower. That's yeah, sorry, that's 3 cents. That's very low. However, what I recommend is if it goes down a bit, start accumulating, but just make sure that you're managing your risk. Since I see the potential to the upside is very high, and we got some very low prices at the moment. So that's it for the market, since not a lot has happened after we just got a little bit of a retracement and some opportunity on XRP USD. Now, an interesting new type of ICO has popped up, which is called IEO, and I wanted to talk about this, and I think it's quite interesting. Now, ICOs have gained quite a bit of notoriety. Yeah, at the end of 2017 and 2018, the early investors have increased their investments by a lot. However, the longer that investors kept their funds into ICOs, most of the time they lost even what they invested. Like the price sunk below the purchase price at ICO when the ICO started. So ICOs are not that profitable anymore, and also it's a bit of a risky situation, since you don't know if the project is going to actually be launched, or if the team is going to run away with the funds, and that's definitely not a good thing. So now let's get back to IEO. So IEO stands for initial exchange offerings, and how here the key difference is that exchanges are enabling companies, startups to run their like coin offerings over them. So initial exchange offering, as its name suggests, is conducted on the platform of a cryptocurrency exchange. Contrary to initial coin offerings, ICOs, an IEO is administered by a crypto exchange on behalf of the startup that seeks to raise funds with its newly issued tokens. IEO participants do not send contributions to a smart contract, so that eliminates those errors. Instead, they have to create an account on the exchange's platform where the IEO is conducted. The contributors then fund their exchange wallets with coins and use those funds to buy this fundraising company's tokens. So here are just a few recent IEOs. I'm not going to go into detail with them since I have not researched it, and at the moment I'm not investing in IEO or ICOs. I just want to just explain what it is so you've heard about it once. So at the moment we've got different platforms, exchanges that are offering IEOs. So we've got Binance. Binance has the Binance Launchpad. Bittrex has Bittrex International IEO. BitMax, Huobi, KuCoin, and OKEx all offer different types of IEO platforms. IEOs are definitely a step up from the ICO. The ICO project funding model, since they offer a bit more of security, and that's a good thing. So here's a pro versus con list. What are the differences between IEO and ICOs? And it's good to have a bit of an overview. So for the ICO, you've got the token issuer's website, and that there the problems, many problems can arise. First of all, the trust issues and programming problems in the smart contract. A few times bugs were discovered, and that meant that either the funds were sent too early or not enough funds, or somehow it just disappeared. It's it's a bit more risky. So the IEO, the fundraising is conducted on the platform of the exchange. The crowd sale counterparty is the project's developers. The cryptocurrency exchange for the IEO. The smart contract is managed by the startup conducting the token sale, and here for the IEO it's the cryptocurrency exchange. So basically everything's running over this cryptocurrency exchange that's running the IEO platform, which is a good thing. Now here again we talk about the trust. So one of the main advantage of IEOs is trust. As the crowd sale is conducted on a cryptocurrency exchange platform, the counterparty screens every project that seeks to launch an IEO on its website. Exchanges do this to maintain their good reputation by carefully vetting token issuers. This is very, very good, and gives a much more credible aspect to investing in cryptocurrency projects. According to Bittrex, the partnership between two companies was a vital part of the project, and when the cryptocurrency exchange became aware of the event, it decided to cancel the token sale as it believed it was not in the interest of Bittrex customers. So again, trust is very important in this crypto funding method. So security, you've got token issuers do not have to worry about the crowd sale security, as the exchange is managing the IEO's smart contract, and KYC AML process, know your customer, and anti-money laundering process is also handled by the crypto exchange, as most service providers do KYC AML on their customers after they create their accounts. And that's also a very good thing, since maybe for privacy reasons you don't want to just be uploading your passport and a photograph of yourself on any ICO website. By doing it over an exchange, you don't have to do this. So in my opinion, IOs do bring a lot of plus to the community, especially since it increases security and trust, which is direly needed, especially in the crypto funding space. Yes, we just looked at this. Here's another example of what IEOs are. So here's a picture of the Binance Launchpad, what it looks like, and a few examples of upcoming projects. However, this is an older screenshot. Yeah, so if you're interested, I suggest you read more about IEOs if you're interested in funding. However, this is definitely a much higher risk than just normal cryptocurrency investments. Higher risk, higher profits. It's up to you. You have to know what you're willing to risk for your profits. Now, on other news, wealthy investors are hyped on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, says financial advisor Jan, and that's always a very good sign. One thing I always like to repeat, and that's with the amount of Bitcoin and the amount of millionaires, and that is that there are not enough Bitcoins for the amount of millionaires there are, which is a fantastic thing if you already own some Bitcoin. So a new survey from financial consulting firm Devere Group shows 68% of its 700 poll participants are already invested in or will make investments in cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP before the end of 2022, which leaves you enough time to have a decent stack before it goes up. So the participants are high net worth individuals with at least £1 million investable assets, reports Telemedia Online, which is this is good. It's good news. Nigel Green, founder and chief executive of Devere Group, says there's growing universal acceptance that cryptocurrencies are the future of money and the future is now. High net worth individuals are not prepared to miss out on this and are rebalancing their investment portfolios towards these digital assets. So I think this is good. High worth individuals are noticing that there's not only gold and commodities that they can invest in, and at the moment the real estate market is quite blown up, as well as the stock market. So they're looking to diversify out of the traditional asset classes and look into something maybe more profitable, especially if there's an upcoming financial crisis. So few triggers behind the surge of interest is, of course, cryptocurrencies are borderless. It's easy to pay to anyone. Send a certain amount of money. You're not controlled. You can send 50,000, 100,000, or even higher amounts with one, low fees and no third party telling you what to do or what not. So it provides also solutions for real life issues. Younger people are more likely to embrace cryptocurrencies than older generations, and institutional investors are moving capital and expertise into the market. So this is good with the price at around now, below $6,000. We're good, a good point where high net worth individuals are starting to consider it, but I think we're still early and we've got enough time to get into the market. If we go a bit abroad, so Brazil, Bitcoin volumes go parabolic in Brazil as the real falls 10%. So a Brazilian exchange has suddenly risen to handle more than $1 billion in Bitcoin trading volume amid monetary concerns in Brazil. So NegociCoins is an exchange. Here's a screenshot from CoinMarketCap, and NegociCoins shows close to 1.5 billion in BTC per BRL trading volumes for the past 24 hours, with Bitcoin there at about $150 premium compared to other exchanges. So now currently Bitcoin is around 5,600, and here it's going for $5,864. So how much of this volume is real and how much is fake is not sure. Hopefully coin market tracking websites will soon implement a method of detecting fake volume, since that is definitely a big problem. However, there's definitely some fiscal turbulences in Brazil, and that leads to much more interest into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So Brazil's real will turn more unstable as it becomes increasingly exposed to a pending discussion of a plan to overhaul the social security system that is proving hard to sell in a divided Congress. So if you look at here, this chart with the BRL to US dollar exchange rate, it's seen a nasty plunge, and it's fallen against the dollar by more than 10% since February, from about 3.6 BRL per dollar to now 3.93 dollar. And I think it's just some investors that might see even higher inflation in the country and want to save their assets from inflation, which is definitely a good thing. And the open-mindedness towards cryptocurrencies is great. Okay, now on just a little bit of a fun aspect. It's not news, but I found this post, and it just offers a bit of a perspective with prices, since we cannot imagine what the prices will be in a year, 2 years, 10 years from now, and we think certain numbers are impossible. And I found this post from 2011 from this anonymous guest, and he talks a bit about the scale of the black market and the digital economies and how it affects Bitcoin. And in 2011, Bitcoin went from $10 to $20, and he's enthusiastic about that. And when he talks about being surprised to see prices from hundreds of thousands of dollars in the coming months, it's funny to look back and see how some prices that we experienced at the end of 2017 must have seemed like imaginary numbers. But I'll link this thread down below, and you can have fun reading about it. One thing was I thought it was funny is like this guy James Q, who says not long ago he was paid around 50 BTC for 2 hours of work. Now I really hope that he kept this amount of BTC until now, and that would have been a pretty penny. talking about exchanging like low fee transactions, a certain Bitcoin whale, knowing on the Bitcoin talk forums, he moved 40,000 BTC, around $212 million, from one Bitcoin address to another on May 1st for a very, very small network fee. So here's a tweet where they noticed a whale alert bot probably noticed that this amount of Bitcoin has moved from one address to another. So further theories floating around on the forum that itself that it's loaded is the name of this user who made the transaction. This is not like fraud or anything. It's nothing about he might sell or so on. I think here the most interesting aspect of this is how cheap he managed to send this money, and the amount of money used to move the $212 million was only 57 cents, and that is just mind-blowing. And this is also a very good example to us people that say that Bitcoin is very expensive. The transaction fees in the last few months have decreased tremendously, and that's also thanks to the Lightning Network. So, and of course Bitcoin whales are accumulating. Yes. Azure Blockchain Service simplifies blockchain development, and that's from Microsoft Azure. This is interesting and will hopefully help with blockchain development. So Azure Blockchain Service, part of Microsoft, the foundation for blockchain applications in the cloud. So Azure Blockchain Service is a fully managed blockchain service that simplifies the formation, management, and governance of consortium blockchain networks, so businesses can focus on workflow logic and application development. So this is mostly for business use. We are incredibly proud of the success Quorum has had over the last 4 years, as organizations around the world use Quorum to solve complex business and societal problems. So it's an application-driven approach. The ledger is just the foundation for new applications. After configuring the underlying blockchain network with Azure Blockchain Service, you need to codify your business logic using smart contracts. I think this is good. I would have to look more in detail. Vitalik Buterin also has something to say. Microsoft has embraced the open community of blockchain developers and has brought the best of their cloud development tool to the developers, building the next wave of decentralized applications with Azure Blockchain Service and Ethereum integration for tools like VS Code. And Microsoft is demonstrating its commitment to open blockchain development. So it's good to see that Microsoft and different Ethereum developers and of course Vitalik Buterin are working together to make this possible. I have to go look at this in detail to see if there's anything that what I can learn, and I just have to read this much more in detail. I'll do this at a later date. So on funny images, just to lighten everything up a bit. So crypto beginners looking for help, and even with the high five for the do your own research. And I think this is just even though it's a fun image, I think it's also very important that do your own research and remember to take all advice that you get on the internet with a large bag of salt, not just a grain of salt, since you definitely don't know what kind of bags or what kind of projects people bought, and it's possible that they will be telling you how great the project is and what kind of roadmap they've got, and it's going to definitely increase by 100% in the next 2 months, and try to tug on your emotional strings so that you buy into the project. Unluckily, there are many YouTubers that also use these kind of scammy ways to pump and dump projects, and I think this just is despicable. So do your own research, read about the projects, and make sure that you've got a healthy risk profit strategy, and that's why I wanted to bring this picture up to you. Yeah, small fun update about John McAfee from the fund note. He believes it's going to be 400,000 in a year or so, in 2 years actually, he says. Yeah, so I won't stay too long on that, since I think he's a bit of a laughable guy. Can't really take him seriously. So cryptocurrencies, do they matter to corporate treasuries? Now, the ongoing discussion about cryptocurrencies is very important, and large companies such as Volkswagen, Bosch, BMW and Santander are jumping on the crypto bandwagon, launching corporative ventures and their own service offerings in order to do so yet. So the kaleidoscope of opinions ranges from a bubble to a snowball system, to the revolutionizing of the monetary system and the abolition of centralistic structures. So what importance should corporate treasuries attach to cryptocurrencies? I think this is actually a very interesting point to look at, since the new digital currencies are considered as gold 2.0. So it would be actually very fun if treasuries started hoarding Bitcoin. So the new digital currencies have been known to a mass audience at latest of 2017. As things stand, there are about 1,500 different cryptocurrencies, of which Bitcoin. So here they're talking about the different cryptocurrencies. I won't go into that in detail, since that's quite basic. So the European Banking Authority defines a cryptocurrency, virtual currency, as digital representation of value that are not issued by a central bank or public authority, nor are they necessarily pegged to a fiat currency. So trust is important. Yes. Assessment and importance to corporate treasuries. From the corporate and treasury perspective, Bitcoins are not necessarily the focus of attention. One of the few possible application scenarios is for transaction processing in developing countries where corruption is rife and the currency system is unstable. Demand for Bitcoin has, for example, risen sharply in Zimbabwe on account of hyperinflation. Be that as it may, one of Bitcoin's essential aims is to become a digital alternative to the established monetary and financial system. That, however, is a long way off. Apart from numerous legal issues such as liability and consumer protection, the fundamental attributes of money and the obligation to accept it as a means of payment and exchange are not given to a sufficient degree. So it's not 100% sure how they will react, but it seems like they're not interested as a store of value, but however for transmitting value from one place to another, it does seem to be very useful. We just looked at the case of Zimbabwe with inflation. So clearly the world of cryptocurrencies is still highly nuanced. At least at the present time, there's no question of the established monetary system being replaced. From a corporate perspective, it's equally clear that analysis should focus rather on the technologies that underpin the cryptocurrencies. Blockchain technology, smart contracts and the like will create new ways to make existing processes faster. So at the moment the focus is much more on the service aspect, like smart contracts and so on, except apart from the being a replacement for gold and other assets. Now, as a last note, Facebook is apparently trying to make a new payment system, which is also kind of a cryptocurrency in its own. So we've known for a while that Facebook formed its own blockchain team, and several reports of the company are reporting that they're developing a Bitcoin-like cryptocurrency. Facebook has been in talks with financial institutions, including Visa, MasterCard and payment processor First Data, as it seeks out some $1 billion in investments for the project. Now, I can see that Facebook will be in some ways successful because they're a massive player in the social media market. So they've got the users, they've got the platform, and they can force a certain type of payment that will be accepted by most users, in my opinion. And one thing I'm pretty sure that they will be able to do is they're going to be able to implement a system that makes it very, very easy for one to buy the coins and send them. You probably won't be needing a special type of wallet. It will be probably integrated into your Facebook account. Now, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of this, since for me, I like the fact that I can own my own coins. I've got my keys and so on, and I believe that if Facebook brings out their own coin, it's going to be tied to their platform. They might even bring out a card and so on. But yeah, we're gonna have to see as soon as they bring out more information what it's going to look like. So that was it for today. I hope you had some fun, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.